Hi everyone, welcome back to Code Step by Step. My name is Anil. In this part of Node.js, we will learn how we can create a GET API with MySQL in a Node.js application. So we will follow these 4 steps. First of all, we will create a configuration file. In this configuration file, we will manage Node.js and MySQL connection. After that, we will make a route for GET API. Then we will get the data from MySQL, and at the last, we will discuss interview question. So let's start with the code now. And this is our database name with the name of test, and it have a table with the name of users. It have the 2 records, and we will fetch these 2 records and show on the postman, and that will be a complete example of get API with MySQL. So now let me just create here a file with the name of config. Even in last video I also told you that how we can create connections and all, but in that video we did not create a different file for configuration. So why I am creating a different file for connection? The reason is, let's say you want to just get the database connection in 10 files. So if you will write your database and Node.js connection in 10 files, it will just take more resource. Your Node.js will be JS application will be more heavy, and code is also we have to just write it again and again. So you can see that this is a repetitive code. So to resolve these problems, we can create a config file and we can import the connection from this file, right? So let me just take a const MySQL, and we will load here MySQL package. In last video I told you that how we can install it. So just let me put here MySQL. Now let's simply put here MySQL dot create connection. This function is basically create the connection between Node.js to MySQL, and we can save it inside a variable. So let's say variable name is con, that means connection. You can take any name, whatever you want, and we have to pass here 4 parameters. First, as a object, first one is host, so I am putting here localhost. And if you are using any live hosting service, then you can just provide the URL of that one. Second one is user. By default in a local host we have a default user is root, and if you have the other manual user, you can put the name of that one also if you want. Password is blank by default, and last one is database name. As I told you, our database name is test basically. So let me put here test, and again we can verify it. Here you can see that we have a test database. After that we can check that if we have any errors, so we can just provide a console, or we can just show any validations and all, right? So let me check here. If con.connection connect, and if it have some errors, then what we can do here, we can just simply put here if we have error, then we can just simply make a console dot warn, and we can just say that error in connection. Otherwise it will work perfectly fine. And at the last, what we can do here, we can just export it, module dot export is con, like this. And after that, let me just import here express, and let me create here route also. So let's take a const express and just use here require to load the express, and we need a app instance from express. So like this, and now we can just use here app dot get route, and it have the 2 parameters. First one is root, and if you want to provide here some others, let's say get data or list, then you can just provide it here, right? So we will just use here a root route. And now in a second parameter, as we know, it have a two parameters, request and response. Second parameter will be a callback function, and that callback function will be take two parameters. So for a moment I am just providing here some response. Let's say response.send is done. I am just making it dummy for a moment so that we can check the routes and all. So just put here app.list and now provide here any port name 5000, and now we can run it on with the help of node moon. And now let's run here. Now you can see that result before just clicking on the send is actually the previous video's result, uh, and now you can see that the connection is done now, right? Now what we can do here, we can just import the connection from config file now, right? So let's take a con is require and we can just provide here config file, right? And now let me just simply use here. We don't need this just dummy response now. So let me just check here if con dot query. So let me just write here query here. So I want to just select all result. So just put here select star from users, right? And again second parameter will be a callback function, and it will again take two parameters. First one is error and second one is response. So I'm checking here if we have error, then what we can do here, we can just simply make a console dot warn or console dot log, or we don't need this actually console, we can just simply send a response dot send, and we can just simply put here error in API, right? After that we can just simply put here else, and in else we can just check here, we can just send here result resp dot send result, and we can close this else also. We have to just close it outside to the result brackets, and now we can check it, is it working fine or not. I am just clicking over send and we got a error. So let me check, error is not defined here. I guess console is talking about that one error because we just have to use here error. After that we can just get a parameter from here, then we can just use it in the if condition, right? And now if I'm just sending it here, you can see that we are getting the data perfectly. So with that way we can create a get API. And for interview question, can we use two database in a single Node.js application? The answer is yes. That kind of question can be asked in the interview. So how we can just create these two connections? So we can create these two different configuration files and we can use them however we want to use. And I will create a separate video on it so that you can just get it properly. So thank you so much, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel.